Díomh a chuirde tá fáilte roimh go dtí an talach arís gunta an chlár seo an 10 rang bio atá curtha fála gain an seo ag Leavingcertirish.com. It's the 10th class we've done live now since last Wednesday week, and we're making progress. Tá dul chun cín á dhéanamh gain an neo an tábhar bheith á phlé gain ná an tEarrach here. Be mi de diristeach Téama agus cúlra an dáin. We'll be taking a look at the theme and background of the poem. So tá súla gom gcuilseh I down na sláinte. Tá camera nua nó difriúil in úsáid gom an neo bhí cúpla fibre gom leis an technoliacht go dtí seo fibre gom leis na sáilse dar nói ach ar ein chuí be gachrod I go brigart a seo amach. Everything will be working well from here on out. Just an gnáród an seo an féidir le gach aine mé a chlustáil. Can everyone hear me? Just maybe in the chat you let me know. Can you hear everything so that I know what we're doing? And gohfuil an go ag teacht amach mar bacart. So tosomid aríist leis an gnáród an scálan seo. Onas go méid isig dine céirdatá siúla goin. So if you're unaware of it, you can get the notes for all of the lessons that we do. So if you're coming in watching this video afterwards, when you're not in the live class, you can get the notes for all these sessions on our courses.leavingcertirish.com link, which is the link underneath in the chat section or in the description. And if you just click on that, you can have every single thing we do for €50. Not just what we do live here, but all the other bits and pieces, flashcards and whatnot that we make available to people. You can go in, click on the lesson, whichever day it's on. It'll be in the live classes link, and you just click on start, and then you can download the notes at the bottom of the page, print them out in advance of the lesson if that's what you want to do. Okay, so an rud a bheith á phlé gunnineo ná an tEarrach here. So an tEarrach here, cúpla adíocht an seo a bhaineann leis an tEarrach here agus téama an dáin seo, the theme of this poem. So an céad rud faoin Ileán seo ná gúil se síochánta. So the island is peaceful. Tá an Tileán fuirfe, it's perfect. Ré chúiseach, it's kind of relaxed, tranquil, easygoing. Idéalach, Ileán idéalach é. It's an idealistic place. Nádúr, it's natural. Tá simplíocht ag buint leis. There's a simplicity to it. Tá is áit nó counter tradiisiúnta atá gceist. It's a traditional place. Machánta, it's honest. Mí réalaíoch beidir, is it unrealistic, do we think? Sin ceist eile. Beidir nach bhfuil sé chó réalaíoch is bachór. Maybe it's not as realistic as it needs to be. Okay, now, good question. Is it worth learning since it came up last year? Now, here's the thing. Now that we've got to a point where every poem in the course has been examined, this course has started in 2012 was the first year of it. So it was examined for the first time then. And every poem has come up. Now, as you know, with prose, you've got an Gnáród and Sean Paul haven't come up, but there's a reason for that, and we can talk about that another day. But in the case of the poetry, just because it came up last year does not mean that you can count it out. If anything, you need to be very wary of it. And it's one of the reasons I'm starting with this one first, because I think people, exactly like you've just asked, are thinking, no, it's not coming up. And that would be, in my opinion, a tragedy if you were to leave something out and then find on the day, because there's only one poem comes up, that you haven't studied for it. That would be an awful waste. And for me, you start with last year and work your way back. I think that's the way to always look at it, because at least then you have it covered. You can emphasize other poems. You can say, oh, I think it's this or I think it's that. But at the end of the day, you do have to focus on it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Rachel. Okay, so land me the right moss fader. Now I've quite a bit of information here today. Not what you're going to find in your textbooks, generally speaking. Try to take a slightly different angle to what you would normally see, and in particular give you a little few bits and pieces about Cool Rundown, the background of the poem, and Sailing Ilan, the life of the island, etc., etc. So let's get on to the main stuff here. So Arish, Dania nach Revelar, before anyone wasn't here before, you should be trying to write down some of the key terminology into something like a hardback notebook, if that's what you have. But you should be trying to write your terminology down in such a way that you're beginning the learning process by writing it first of all, and that you're keeping the notes close by in lists or whatever form you like yourself for quick referral at a later stage. Okay, so Neil Doughter Biffwy Ocker Gro Orte Téama on Doinshot. There's no doubt about it, but that love of place, Gro Orte, or love for a place, is Téama on Doinshot. I'll be taking a few little drinks of coffee here, guys. I've been teaching this morning already, up very early this morning doing work, so if you don't mind, I'll be kind of sipping away my coffee as we go on. Anyway, Neil Doughter Biffwy Ocker Gro Orte Téama on Doinshot. There's no point in even beginning this question unless you know how to say that. So love of place, or love for a place, is the theme of this poem. Léirí Martin O'Diron Gro Shiri Gro Boon Dinish Mór Féin. So Martin O'Diron, he portrays an eternal, permanent love. Gro Shiri Gro Boon, the Inishmore Féin, to Inishmore itself. Now, anyone who's ever been to Connemara would know that Inishmore is referred to by all the locals simply as Oren. Okay, it's known as Oren, simple as. People don't say things like Oren Vor or anything like that. Or it's Inishmore or it's Oren, but that's it. Nihilon Oren is the Aran Islands, obviously. So Martin O'Diron portrays this eternal, permanent love for Inishmore itself, agus tradiisiúin an Ilan, and the traditions of the island, tríd an Don. So the traditions, plural, of the island through the poem. Agus ag Déanamh Cursíos. So as or while he is describing Hréithe an Ilan, the traits of the island, agus muinter an Ilan, and the people of the island. So while he's doing this, Cruhíonn sé Ivana Maltacha, he creates these enticing, darfacha, positive, agus tanvacha, and enjoyable imagery or images for us. So I'll go through it all again because this is very important. So while he is describing the traits of the island and the people of the island, he creates these attractive or enticing, positive and enjoyable images for us. So let me just crack the first little nut here, guys, grammatically, because we need to. First of all, Ilan is an island. That's one island. Second option, Antillan, is the island. It's masculine, requires the T hyphen. Finally, anything of the island. On Ilan, you drop the, so step one, you drop the T. Step two, masculine, you try to slender it. And that's all we can do. Okay, so on remains is on, you drop the T, as I say, in third step, you slender it here. It's on Ilan. Of the island is on Ilan. So grammatically, Ilan, an island, Antillan, the island, and on Ilan is of the island. That's the Tishaginnock version. All right, hopefully that's clear to everyone. Della, next bit. Denitche Iracht Dina Avala Chonaniloin. So after Con we have Tishaginnock. So he tries to entice people to the island. Chonfumana Dahana Agus Luchana an Iloin Avlasha. Now when I say Avlasha, it literally is to taste, to experience. So he tries to entice people to the island to taste or experience the sounds, the colours and the values of the island, and that last term is really important. So Fumana dahana agus luchana an iloin. Try to remember that phrase. The sounds, the colours, and the values of the island. Agus luchana has to do with people, right? The island as an entity doesn't have values, but people on the island have values. So, luchana an iloin, the values of the island. So he's trying to bring us in to experience this. Luanse an tEarrach here in ngach versa. He mentions an tEarrach here in every single verse. Den gano, on purpose. Bhealach, in a way, is ardvola gantasha atá siúil sa dawn. So anything that's gantasha is kind of relentless. So in a way, it's this relentless high praise or great praise. It's ardvola gantasha atá siúil sa dawn. So in a way, it's this relentless praise that's going on in the poem. Rhoda churan suvnus intin an illa, something that perhaps causes the poet, or in the poet's mind, causes him to feel relaxed, something that relaxes him, something that gives him pleasure, if you like. So Bhealach is ardvola gantasha atá. So in a way, it's this kind of relentless praise that's going on, something that relaxes the poet in his own mind. Ceann na trethe is sumptasí faoin Don Glóta show. One of the most noticeable or noteworthy traits about this delightful poem is now atmosphere suivnach an Ileán is the tranquil atmosphere of the island. Atmosphere suivnach an Ileán, the tranquil atmosphere of the island. It's one of the most noticeable elements of this lovely poem. Ní ector, one doesn't see cruútan an tíl sa dawn. We don't see the hardship of life in the poem, right? So it's élu omlán an gnáhéil é seo. This is a total escape from normal life. So ní ector cruútan an tíl sa dawn. We don't see the hardship or the harshness of life. Cruútan an tíl. We do not see that in the poem. Okay, cé cud eile? Cé go míoch, even though there used to be, I'm sure anrótach. You do need to know this phrase. I'm sure anrótach is miserable weather, right? So even though there used to be miserable weather there sometimes, agus sail scardúil a chahabh ag tromlach le nína, and while the majority of people lived a kind of a bleak life, sail scardúil is a bleak life. So even though there used to be this miserable, absolutely terrible weather there sometimes, while people were living this kind of bleak life, ní thugann sé aitheantas, he doesn't recognize donna gnéithe sin sa dawn. He doesn't recognize those elements. He doesn't give recognition or due recognition to those elements in the poem with the quote Níomhrach an rearc. So delightful or beautiful was the scene. So he's not saying that. What are you saying, Oren? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Bishop Brennan. What are you saying, Oren? I don't understand the question. So he doesn't recognize or give due recognition to those elements in the poem. Okay. Cé cuid eile bhfuil ceist géine lean mé right go dtíon céad scáilán eile más féidir. Okay. An So the réir an dóin, according to the poem, is cinál nav ar halamh í an áit seo. So this, according to the poem, this is a kind of a heaven on earth. It's cinál nav ar halamh í an áit seo. So this place is some kind of heaven on earth. Ceapá, you would think, or one would think, greibh tú dul chun na bhleithis, that you were entering heaven, a dul chun na bhleithis. You would think that you were entering heaven. Agus tú ag fécant isteach ar héal an Ileán, as you looked in over the life of the island. So ceapá, one would think, or you would think, that you were entering heaven as you were looking in here. So, Cúlandán, the background of this poem then, agus tá sé seo anhailteach ar fad in Mochurim. a tús na híise seo caite at the beginning of the last century. So ish is, don't forget, it can also be a century. So tús na híise seo caite at the beginning of the last century. Bhí athraithe móra ag tarlú ar fud an dá. There was huge changes taking place all over the world. Go mór ó héh cuasaí tionscalaíochta, especially from an industrial point of view. So bhí athraithe móra ag tarlú. You were saying people don't call it Inish more. Yeah, sorry, Bishop Brown, I see your point now. Yes, people in Connemara don't refer to the island. The locals don't refer to the island as Inishmore. They refer to it as Oran generally. Okay, that's what they do for Inishmore itself now. Oran. So there were huge changes taking place all over the world, especially from the point of view, from an industrial point of view. Le Chacht Re na Havlisha. So with the arrival of the era of electricity is what I'm calling this. So with the arrival of electricity, Re an Chor, the era of the car, agus Re an Gohan, and the era of the phone. So the phone, the car, and electricity. Le Chacht Re na Havlisha, Re an Chor is Re an Gohan. Horle Cléchlu Omlan. A total transformation happened. Hariha Biognach took place overnight, more or less. Model cursi ibre agus cursi trochtala regarding work and commerce. So, I gumbrad leis an sail a bhíochacha ar na Hillan in comparison with the lives they had on the island. Horle Cléchlu Omlan. A total transformation happened. Biognach Hariha, almost overnight. Agus na rudishing ag tarlu, and while those things were happening, Lan winter an Ilan araig lena tradition. The people of the island continued on with their traditions. Ag kohu na lochana a vehicle, and ag kohu sustaining or protecting the values they had. Ag kohu na lochana a vehicle. Biog baun ar na haraha olvora a bhí titam amach timpeall orthu. So unaware or indifferent to, it can have a few different meanings, biog baun or rodegan, but biog baun is unaware, unbothered by, they just got on with life. It's not quite indifferent, but can be depending on the context. So while all these things were happening, the year of electricity, the year of the car, and the year of the phone, while all these things were happening, Lan winter and Ilan araig, the people of the island continue with their traditions, sustaining or supporting these values that they had, almost unaware of the massive changes of a titamach timpeall orthu that were taking place all around them. Vi simpliocht ag buint leis an saoil bhíocha. There was a simplicity to the life that they had. Gan stress, gan brew, without any pressure, without any stress. Ach lán le macontacht, but full of honesty, agus oberyin, and hard work, or oberchrua you could say as well. So, na luchan bhíocha, these values they had were lán le macontacht, full of honesty, oberchrua, oberyin, hard work, law in Igle, day after day. It was the same thing every day. So simplicity to their lives, but it was full of honesty and hard work. Right? So rud an a adorha atá. Something very, very good, but very, very natural is what we're talking about here. Okay. Okay, Cudella, will I catch you can wait to show, guys? Any questions? Keep throwing them in here to text. Don't be afraid to send in some questions here to text, into the chat. As you can see, there's a chat function available to you on your phone, your iPad, or indeed if you're on a computer, it's probably the easiest one. So that's where you send them in. So please send in your questions as we're going through, and I'll try and deal with them. I have them here on my screen in front of me. I try to deal with them. I look up every minute or two just to see what questions are coming in. So make sure to use that. Those who are here all the time probably know what it is or are familiar with it. Anyway, okay. Kate Quidella, next bit. So vi sé le harva nádúrtha ag muintir na Nilán. The people of the islands had an extremely natural life. Okay, they had an extremely natural kind of life. He said harven ná durha. The extremely natural life. Ag muinter na nilon. That's tish plural. So the people of the islands. That's what we're saying here. Vi sail harven ná durha. A very natural life. Fermori bioga, iasgri, agus fidori vianta. So there were small farmers, and that means not small in stature, but small farm sizes. So fermiori bioga, small farmers, fishermen, agus fidori and weavers, vianta den chuidasmo. So for the most part, we're talking about small farmers, fishermen, and some kind of weavers, people who used to work with wool and whatnot. Vrashid or Vishid ag Bragamor, if you want to say that, Vrashid Gmor and Dula, they were greatly dependent upon nature. Vrashid Gmor, so Vishid Bragamor and Dula. Chonid Fein Chahus, to sustain themselves. So fish and fati. Fati are the Connemara version of potatoes. So prati, if you don't want to say that. Okay. So prati, if you want to go with the more traditional version of it. But in Connemara, they're fati. Vech na fati, nite, ite agus brite, nite, brite agus ite gan guntucht, fadas atá and muinach agra prati. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. So eishkel agus fati, fish and potatoes, fish and spuds, moin agus ullen, turf and wool, and green agus an vostach, the sun and the rain. All of these natural elements coming together as part of their lives. Vi buint mór ag an geol. So vi buint mór ag geol. Music, dance, agus creative, faith. So music, dance and faith had a major part to play in sail lehul nanina, in the daily lives of people. Okay? So you don't want me saying I'm winter this or the whole time. So the sail lehul nanina, with the daily lives of people. So music, dance and faith had a big role in their lives. At Nimid, we recognize on co-ibru, the cooperation, either muinter in Elon, agus an dula. So we see and we recognize, that's the verb, we recognize the cooperation between the people of the island, agus an dula, and nature. Is gweil co-valertoch atá aterhu. Now here's a great phrase for you to learn. Is gweil co-valertoch atá aterhu. It's a reciprocal relationship between them. Okay? It's a reciprocal co-valertoch. So it's a reciprocal relationship that exists between them. A symbiotic relationship, if you want to say that as well. So it's a reciprocal relationship between them. Bíonn sé deacair a roinne óga na híse seo. It's difficult, or it's hard for young people of this century, of the modern time, if you like, sail mar sin howlu, to imagine a life like that. Shishin, i.e. gan electricus, without electricity, glúiseán, cars, or the internet. Ach, darid le Martin O'Diron, but Martin O'Diron managed to Ivana on Ilan a chrohu doing. He managed to create the images or imagery of the island for us. Leis an bhrutal simply of winche usaras, with the simple expressions that he made use of. So darid leis Ivana on Ilan a chrohu no a chrohu, to recreate them, if you want to say that, doing. Leis an bhrutal simply, with this simple speech, simple expression that he was using. Okay. Next bit then. Any questions? Any other questions there? Nothing coming in the chat so far, guys. Just checking the chat here. Don't see any other questions right now. So Kurgi Stakid, Matashid Agriv. Okay, so Nota Bahashnesha. I think this is incredibly important that you understand. So we're going to take a look at two other elements here. Nota Bahashnesha, so a biographical piece on Martin O'Diron, and also just, uignis marhema ella, loneliness as another possible theme. So we're going to look at that in a moment. So Nota Bahashnesha and show fui vorting. In Oran Atogwe, so this is what I was saying earlier, that the locals refer to simply as Oran. In Ora Atoga, Martin Duran. So Martin was brought up on Atoga. He was reared in Oran. Rugu A are in Srahan. So he was born in a place called Srahan. Actually, I have a nice photograph of the house with a class of mine there last September. Rugu Aaron Srahan, Aaron Neo Las Fed Divina Sound Min Negesite. So he was born in November 1910. Near Laurshe Akwegawan, he only spoke Irish, Gudi Gorefshe Niegor. So he never spoke anything but Irish until he was a teenager. Treshton Skola Ogal, after leaving school, Vogshe Gudi Kahar Nagaliva. So he moved to Galway City after he finished school. When he was 18 years of age. Either Mileneget Fessa Hocht, August Mileneget Truxta Shocked to 1928 and 1937. Vishe Ig Ober Mar Cleric as a clerk in Ardiffic on Fwisht, which means in the GPO, Ilarnachachak in the city centre. Fadas Vishe Sachar, while he was in the city, Vishe in Aval the Chunran Agrega, so he was a member of Chunran Agrega. August Vishe in a Ashor tEarrach come on now. The tEarrach is on the Hautok or Fad, so tEarrach's a major theatre, but more to the point, it is the main Irish language theatre. Choma. So Vishe in a Ashtor, August in a Val de Chunran Agrega. Derter, it is said, Gurbi a Hrevshe tEarrach. It's said that his time or his period of time in the tEarrach, a rushig a sim literature, that awoke his interest in literature. Not that he wasn't ever thinking about it before that. Rushig say should be a him. Sorry, I see one little typo here. Rushig say a him. There should be a H. Literature in literature. Savlin Milenege Tuxa Shacht. Vogshilesh Gabayo Clear. So Derna Blinashin at the end of that year he moved to Dublin. Dariglesh Posta all Marstot Servishuk, that means as a civil servant, in case you don't know. He managed to get a job as a civil servant, Ryan Idachish. So he managed to get a job Ryan Idachish or Ryan Idachish, whichever you're going with, Munster or Connacht, in the Department of Education. Didrik Shea Mar Chlorhor, do Chlosh Nashunta Nanalin. So he worked as a registrar. So the National Arts College. Alright. Quid Ella. So Shohid sort na Firaki, the facts about him. Deutsche Knusuk Filichte, so he published his first collection of poetry. Knusuk is a collection. He published his first poetry collection, Quinle Gala. Very important to know the term. There's two books that you should know. Quinle Gala is his first collection of poetry. Savlimine get Dahad is a Do, 1942. Fajug Och Lar Filiachta Lesh. So 8 books are poetry books of his were published between 1942 and 1979. Scrivshe Ashta in Aina Shachtana de Nuchtan, so he was writing an essay per week, an article per week for a newspaper between 1940 and 1943. Fui Anam Klete Rory Biog, so he had a pen name, would you believe? This is something you may not have heard before. It's not in the standard textbooks. Vi Anam Kletege Rory Biog, believe it or not. Lanshe Lesh an Ober, Fuina Anam Fain, in the Quegadi, so he continued writing under his own name in the 50s. And this is the important bit. Dalchik She Valucon Gyarshkelte. So he published his collection of short stories, Rawa Gyarshkelte Vian. It was actually a choice of short stories, a selection. Bunner and Hashtishin and Famine Valtana is what it was called. And it means May seaweed, if you don't know what that is. Sivlin Milenege Shaska is a hen. So 1961, Famine Valtana, which was really a collection of works over 20 years, were published. Brunna Galor Dushner Rehid, so many various prizes were presented to him. Brunnock Eads. So Brunach Galore Dúshna Rihi Hill during his life, many different awards were given to him. In a mass Brunach on Ossian Price, I think it's pronounced, I'm not absolutely sure the pronunciation, on Ossian Price Ersavlin Minega Shacht, it's a Shacht 1977. He was given the award of the Ossian Prize, which I believe is one of the highest literature awards you can win. August Gradaman Oireachtas, and he won the Oireachtas Award in 1981. Kylo A, he died. Forshe boss people say, but Kylo A, new law de V on Vorta Milanege Doctors. So 1988 he died. Shacht Mlian is Shachta Avion. He was 77 years of age. Nura Forshe boss. Okay, now sin nota bahasnéise ach ganis crít nóméid cheisnó héime eile beidir, right? So, uignas mar héime eile. I'm asking this question really. Uignas mar héime eile. Could uignas could he be talking about loneliness as much as anything else? Gra áite cínta, definitely 100%. Gra áite is what this poem is about. But tá uignas tev here den don choma. There is a loneliness. Tá sort éanaránacht ag buint leis. There's a kind of solitude associated with it. Agus beidir gwil téama eile no fohéma, which would be like a sub-theme ag rith tríd an don running through the poem. So, fága mé an cinne sin futhain. I'll leave that decision to yourself. Ach tá náhanna Harbheith carach an seo a chorthaigh leis na freigraí a chorthaigh sibh le chéile. That will add to the answers that you decide to put together. So, uignas mar héime eile. Ceapanna fila gwil sail níos dacra. The poet thinks that life is, and sorry now it's a little bit condensed here in this top one. Ceapanna fila gwil sail níos dacra. The poet thinks that there's a more difficult life. Agus I wad níos uigni, and much more lonely or lonesome ag dinas na carracha móra. So I suppose this is the essential thing really, that there is a more difficult and a more lonesome or lonely life for people in the major cities. So sail níos dacra agus I wad níos uigni sna carracha móra in the major cities. Noig, of course, being oberchrua le déanamh ag muintir an Ilan, but of course the people of the island have hard work to do every day, law in Iglé. So ní sé ag rá gwil sail Ibra níos dacra. He's not saying they have a harder working life. Ach tá an sail, but life as it is more difficult in major cities. Éisian Rota, having said that, tá dríocht ag buint leis an ginál síl sin. There's a magic associated with this kind of life. Okay, tá dríocht ag buint leis an ginál síl sin with this kind of life. Dar leis, in his view. Mas féidir lo a bheith gobar le chéile. So if they're able to work together, and we're talking about the people of the island, and muifwin air outdoors, agus fumana an dúla timpeall orthu, and the sounds of nature all around them. So bheith gobar le chéile, one idea, to be a muifwin air, another idea, agus fumana an dúla timpeall orthu, all around them. Cadella a bheith ag súla. So what else would you be expecting? That's sin sort an cheist a chornse Sedan or Valach. So there's a magic associated with this kind of life, and if you can be outdoors, working outdoors, muifwin air, working together and listening to the sounds of nature around you, so what else do you want? And do you know what? He's not too far wrong. In Nyaran Nadola, at the end of the day, right, when it's all said and done, is Bringlode on Dawnshaw. This poem is a dream. Le ceann scríbne le ceann scríbe suivnoch, with a tranquil destination. Now, I actually wanted to change this rather than Donilla to like in agna on illa, in the poet's mind. So you don't have to use Donilla, but I'm just going to on the fly change it. So what I was trying to say was this entire poem is really a dream for the poet. And what is he getting? He's getting this Ceann Scríbe Suaimhneach. He arrives in his own mind, in Agnanella, he arrives at this tranquil destination. That's what it's all about. It's Thuras é though. It's a journey for him, right? It's Thuras intana é though. It's a mental journey for him. And this is the term that I use. And we actually know this from some of the work we did with on Trial for the past few days. It's Charman intana é an Tillán. So the island is a mental refuge, right? It's Charman intana é the warting. So it's this mental refuge for him. Agus é ag smaoineamh siar ar cheann léitheanta orga a óige. So as he's thinking back upon, as he reflects upon, ar cheann léitheanta orga a óige, on the golden old days of his youth. So as he reflects back upon all these, tugann sé faoisimh dó, it gives him. Now there's a famous poem with him, of course, Faoisimh a Jóds, and if you don't know it, you should possibly look it up if you have time. Faoisimh is respite. It gives you a chance to refresh, to have tranquility. So tugann sé faoisimh dó, it gives him respite. It gives him this chance to recharge his batteries. O láimh thuirse agus dubhachas na carach, from the kind of boredom. You could say ladron as well if you want to go. That's instead of láimh thuirse. So o ladron or láimh thuirse, from the boredom agus dubhachas na carach, and the kind of gloominess of the city, right? If you like, the darkness or valach. Darkness would be darkness, but dubhachas na carach, the kind of the gloominess of the city. So it's Charman intana atá gceist. It's a mental refuge for him, and he can think back upon it, the golden days of his youth, and it gives him this respite, this relief from the boredom and the gloominess of the city. Bavra leis élu an gcathair. He'd love to escape from the city. Agus Philawalya Gahorn, and he'd love to return home to Oran. Cé gur duine fásta bhí, even though he was grown up, nor a chumse an don, when he composed this poem, Maran tarint an Ilan in Inta, gach lá. So the lure of the island continues. Tarint an Ilan. Sorry, I'm getting a red pen there. Maran tarint an Ilan, the lure of the island. Not sure you can read that. The lure of the island. Okay, rather thought tarintach or maltach is an attraction. So the attraction of the island, the lure of the island, Maranche, it exists, it lives on in Intan, in his mind every day, gach lá. So even though he's a grown-up or was a grown-up when he composed it, the lure of the island lives in him every single day. Mohimid, we feel muithnachas an illa. We feel the poet's sentimentality, muithnachas. So we feel the poet's sentimentality. Agus ag smaoineamh siar an Tangalair, as he's reflecting back the whole time. So he's sentimental all the time, looking back to na seanléitheanta, the old days. Is uidnach an smaoineamh sin. That's a lonesome thought. That's a lonely kind of an idea. You know, go bhfuil duine éigean de hir ag smaoineamh siar ar rud éigean is constantly de hir, different phrase now, de hir, D-E-S-H-I follower, is eternally, is constantly ag smaoineamh siar ar rud éigean eile. So is uidnach an smaoineamh sin, you could say doing. That's a lonesome thought for us, that he's continually looking back. Ach is slí éilethe I dó Martin féin. But it's an escape route. It's a way out for Martin himself, right? Slí éilethe I the Martin féin. It's a way out. It's an escape route for Martin himself. Agus crunch sin, sauce over it. That makes us happy. Gwyl an Schliele ige, nach Wilche Fuivron and Tamgaler. He's not unhappy the whole time. Okay? Right, so Shinne and tEarrach here, guys. There's a serious lesson in 40 minutes for you. Again, Mata ein Keshna Guiv, Glachame Lo, Satakes and Ish. As you can see, there's a phenomenal amount of information in that, and really should help you in terms of clarifying what the poem's about for you. Téama an dáin, cúla an dáin, nota baha snéise, agus better fohéma ella, perhaps another sub-theme. So at the end of this lesson, you should have taken on board a lot of really good information regarding an tEarrach here. And I'll go back to Rachel's question. Do not discount this poem because it came up recently. That really is a crucial message today. As I said, I started with this poem for a reason. It's that everyone is saying, sure, I'm not doing it, or I'm not interested in it, or I don't think it's coming up. You know, you really do need to think very logically about how this can work. There was very early on with the new syllabus a number of years ago with the pass and Ganala Vale, there was a repeat 1 year after the other of the same stories, even though, you know, they hadn't examined all 5 at that point. So like it's absolutely crucial in what will be, what's now, is it the 9th year of this syllabus being examined, you know, from 2012 to now. It will be absolutely crucial to make sure that you have all of the poetry covered again. The same as you need to cover all of the prose. Of course, the big question is on Ganara, what's going to happen with that? For a lot of people, or Shan Nepal, if you're doing that. So we can look at that another day. That's for another day, another time. And Sula Dia, Winshiv, Tanav, August Tarva, us and wrong. Again, if you could give us some support and purchase our course, that would be great. For those who haven't done so, if you're watching this again, particularly on a replay, and you're not in here live, because that's how a lot of people are now accessing these lessons. If you go to our courses, which is courses.leavingcertirish.com, you can see there's a little reference to the link here at the top, and also in the description of this video on YouTube. You can send us or you can support us. The more support we get, the more we can do, as I say, and every single thing you need, which would normally be €150, is available now for €50 while this is going on. So it's phenomenal value. It keeps you focused. It gives you something to do every day. Get up, go to the class every day at 12 o'clock and have that critical focus and motivation. Maintain your motivation as well during this a very difficult time for a lot of people. So Tasula Gum, Gwil Shiv, I down the slanche, Gwil Gachdina Saclown, I down the slanche, Gwil Shiv Ignina Lava, Igoni, that you're washing the hands the whole time, August Sula Dia, Begshiv in Einatlum, and Morach. You'll be back with me here tomorrow. Iganam Kena, Manley, August Tosso Midle Cat, Ella, another new fresh lesson for everyone to work on. August Tom McSul Gumorle. So Merwillian Keshna Ella, Niekam Keshna Taktastach, Glakame le Keshna Amorach Saram. So Gurmila Magriv, Nor Laga Dia Shiv August Sula Dia, Bay Mead Rashan Shot Amorach Iganam Kena. Gurmi Magriv, August Longafol.